Hello. Okay, guys, I resolved my issues with streaming software. YouTube shows me that connection is just excellent, so you should see and hear me well. Yes, okay, and now I correctly made stream. So, sorry, not made stream. I correctly configured stream, and there is a low delay. So you should hear and see me almost immediately, and we will be able to have some discussions, let's say, in comments or in dedicated channels. Okay, cool. Guys, just in case, you can see that I'm sharing my screen currently, and for first translation, for first live stream, I used both chats, YouTube and Discord, but now we are moving forward, and I will look at a live streaming channel in Node.js course Discord, and you can ask your questions there, because it's a bit complicated to look at two places at the same time. Okay, so let's probably start. What we are going to do today, we will take a look at Node.js basic solution. We will review it, and after that we will take a look at your next task, and you will be able to ask some questions if you have some. Okay. Just a quick reminder what you had to do. You had practical task Node.js basics, and you had to implement some functionality in pre-written functions. You only had to fill it. And you worked with FileSystem interface. You should work with command line interface. You were able to get environment variables from command line. You were able to get arguments from command line. You worked with different module systems. You tried to calculate SHA hash for a file. You worked with streams. You worked with, let's say, advanced streams with zlib API. And also you worked with worker threads and child processes. So I hope you liked it, because all the stuff will be needed for you for the next task. Okay, let's begin. We have work from student Valeria for today's review, and I will just take a look at the code. I will not perform full cross-check flow. What you can see here, yes, I will not calculate score, check for commits, usage of external tools, etc. It's obvious, and I'm pretty sure you know how to do it. We will take a look at the code, and maybe we'll think about how to make it better. Okay, so we are going to start. First, let's take a look at FS domain, and let's take a look at create module. Okay, what you had to do here is to create a file fresh.txt with some predefined content, and if this file already exists, you should throw FileSystem FS operation failed error. We can see that we have some stuff to improve here. First, let's take a look at the imports. If you will check Node.js documentation, it uses Node protocol everywhere. What do I mean? I mean that, okay, let's take a look here. Some code examples. Yes, you can see that these imports start with Node. Okay, why it's used? Because it has some benefits. First of all, for you will be immediately clear that it's not some external library, it's built-in Node.js module, and you import this core module, and there is no risk of situation when imagine you have a module in your node modules with the same name. Yes, it can be not clear which one will be used. Especially this is important if Node.js creates some new module, and you could have some library with such name, and in this case it will be overwritten with Node.js module, and it's like some uncertainty in what you use. So in this example it will work just fine, but it's really better to use to start your imports with Node prefix and use this specifically built protocol. Okay, what we see next. Student used asynchronous functions. It's okay. It's fine. We should prefer asynchronous versions of functions. But she used it from just FS module. And if we will take a look at Node.js documentation, we can see that we have two versions of FileSystem APIs. We have callback API, and also we have this FS promises something. And FS promises is a newer version of API, and it's really better because you know why you should you know why you should not use overuse, let's say, callbacks, because in general this is old API. It leads to problem known as callback hell. Yes, you can see that your code is moving to the right side because you have one level, then you have another level of nesting, then you have another level of nesting, another level of nesting. Yeah, and it's really hard to debug such code, it's really hard to maintain it, so you should use promised versions of Node.js API whenever it's possible. It's I don't know, I don't even know when you should use callbacks API, maybe some rare cases, but nothing really comes to my mind at the moment. So please use promised versions of APIs and do not mix them with callbacks. Yes, you can see that we have mix of callbacks and promises here because function is asynchronous with async keyword, and it allows us to use await inside, but we use callbacks here. So please don't do that stuff. And also we have commonly we have some common mistake here. Because we have separated operations for check and write file. You can see that we have access asynchronous API call, and then if it doesn't throw error, it means that okay, we don't have such a file in our file system, then we can try to write it. But this pattern has firstly check and then do something based on previous check results. It has very big and serious drawback. If you have more than one source of updates for your data, for example, in our case, there could be some other users in our file system who can work with files, then bad stuff can take place in between of your operations. I mean right here. For example, you make check that file doesn't exist. In the same time, approximately, I don't know, within 1 or 2 millisecond window, someone else creates this file. Then based on this check, okay, error was not Okay, we checked that file doesn't exist, then file was created, and then based on previous check you try to create file and overwrite existing file, or you will get error. So your check was successful, but operation failed. Proper way to work with such things, use single operation that either successful or fails. This can also be transactional. You can see some benefits of such approach. Here I used premissified version of FS write file, and there is single operation. We don't have callbacks related problems, and it fails if you will try to create new file with flag WX. Let's take a closer look. I just renamed it because we already have a write file in our module. I used node prefix. I used fs promises for import. Then I can just await this premissified write file. We all know what happens when we await in some function. If it resolves, we have no error. If it rejects, then we will have this error after await, and we can catch it with just a regular try-catch expression and throw new error as we agreed on acceptances. What is this flag? Who knows? Why do we need it? Nope. YouTube quality should be fine. WX not just creates new file. This is FileSystem flags that can allow us to modify some behavior. Okay, so why do we need WX? Because it works, it allows us to open file for writing, but normally a file will be created if it doesn't exist, yes, or truncated if it exists. But if we will use WX, then this operation will fail if file already exists. So this is exactly what we need. In this case, we need to throw error if file exists, and we need to create it if it doesn't exist. So let's try to run this one. npm run fs create. I will use this premissified version instead of original one. Such file packages. Sorry, I'm not in the proper folder. Okay, you can see that fresh file has been created. Let's try to run it again. And you have a fs operation failed. So this is a single operation and nothing bad happens in between. Okay, good. Is it a mistake to use callback API? It's not a mistake. It's just old API. So it's not a mistake, but you should avoid it. It's like, you can use constructor functions instead of classes in JavaScript, and it will work. It's not a mistake, but generally people don't use it for now. This is the same with callback versus promises API. Okay, let's take a look at next file. We have same stuff as before. We don't have this node. We don't have this node prefix. We have multiple callbacks, and yeah, you can see that there are really a lot of callbacks. One callback, another callback, another callback, another callback, and another callback. Like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels of nesting. Yeah, it's really hard to debug it, maintain it. You can see that you have all this error 1, error 2, error 3. It's really complicated. Okay, I would propose you to use Promises API, and let's take a look at updated implementation. First of all, you can use readdir from FS Promises to get directory content. It will fail if directory doesn't exist. Yeah, I remember about this two separated checks stuff. And also you can use makedir to create directory. And it also fails if it already exists. So it's exactly what we need. And then you can copy each file separately by using a native copy file if you want to do it one by one, or you can use CP API. It's stable in version 22. Let's check. FileSystem.cp. Okay. fspromises.cp. Yes, we have no warnings about stability, so this API can be used to copy entire folder with all subfolders, all nested files. You can use option recursive to do so. By default it falls, but you can enable it and you will copy directory recursively within this parent directory. Okay, so once again, let's take a look at, okay, maybe I will make it a bit smaller. Let's take a look how it works. I will comment original function and use this one. Okay, let's try to make copy, npm run fs cp. Oh, probably copy. Okay, we have this files copy, this copy of our files. If we will try to do it again, we will have error because makedir failed. Okay, if we will delete this copy and let's rename our files repository, our files folder, so it could not be found. And okay, maybe this has to be separated stuff, because we probably don't need to create empty folder here. Okay, maybe promise all is not the best option here. It should be done separately. But anyway, normally it will throw error because our file, our folder could not be found. Okay. And yes, here we can use this CP API. Let's comment copying files one by one, and let's run our script once again. You can see that result is exactly the same. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Let's take a look at rename. We have the same problem here, multiple checks plus callbacks plus not using protocol. Let's take a look at updated implementation. First of all, by the way, this is in general good approach. Things that should not be defined inside of that are not defined inside of the function can be placed outside. This is especially proficient when you use I don't know, for example, if you work with AWS and you use Lambda functions, it's profitable to place some stuff to be reused, and you can place some stuff outside of your main handler. Then it can be reused by multiple executions of your Lambda function. So I just used rename from fs promises. I named it rename premisified, and you can also use a single operation because it will fail in case if this rename will throw if initial file doesn't exist, and this rename will throw if new file already exists. Let's check it. npm run fs rename. Sorry. We just let's move back. I just used student's version. Let's use rename premisified. It should work exactly the same. Okay, let's try to run it once again. You can see that wrong file name.txt doesn't exist. We have error. Okay, and we will have the same error if proper file name exists. Let's restore wrong file name and try to run it once again. Okay. Maybe we need to provide some options. Let's take a look at documentation. Old pass, new pass, macro try delay. Okay. Maybe here default force true. Name. Okay, maybe here we cannot do it in single operation using this API, but anyway, you get the idea. Try to use single operation whenever it's possible. Okay, good. Let's move on. Let's take a look at delete. Here we use fs unlink API. You can use this API. You can also use RM API. It's pretty similar, but it really depends on your needs. This just uses different system APIs for removing files or directory. And here you also can use single operation to try to remove file, because if I'm not mistaken, if you will try to delete files that doesn't exist, you will also have error. Okay, let's take a look at the list. Same stuff as before. You can use just fs read dir, because if you will try to read some repositories that, some folders that doesn't exist, you will have error. So it will work just fine. And I don't get what's going on here, because for some reason you create array, then using for each you push files to that array, and then you log it into console. Probably you could just use just console log files. It's really okay. Because you create copy of the same array, and you don't change anything. Okay, let's take a look at the read file. If we don't have file, then we throw our custom error. If we have error during file reading, we also throw error. Otherwise, we log file content into console. You could also use single operation here, because if you will try to read files that doesn't exist, or you don't have some access to it, you will have error. And you just need to catch this error and throw your custom one. Okay. And also, yes, please use premisified versions of API and Node to operations. Okay, I will take a look at the chat. Like using prototype directly instead of classes in JavaScript. Yeah. Isn't it a mistake to have full error description instead of having only a message? FS operation failed. Full error description. Pavel, I'm not sure what are you talking about. Full error. Okay, here error is thrown. You mean login in console full error, but your function has to throw error, not just log it to console. Is that was described somewhere? Yeah. Alexei, you are right. That's what I meant. That pain when you don't have type checking. We will switch to TypeScript soon. Don't worry. Okay, guys, let's move on. We have a lot of stuff to take a look. Okay. Next, we will take a look at CLI stuff. First, we will take a look at Node.js. What do we see here? In general, approach is fine. We get environment variables from process.env, and then we have environment variable key, and then we check that we are interested only in environment variables that starts with RSS, and then we push it to array in predefined format, and then we join this array by white spaces. It's okay, but here student created a separated array and then filled it. You have amazing enrich API in JavaScript. You have a lot of I don't know how to say it in English. Maybe some array iteration operations. I mean, all the stuff that you can do with your collection, like for each, filter, map, reduce, reduce write, and so on. So you have a specific API for reducing array into some other value. So you don't need to create separated arrays. You can use reduce or map. Here, for example, we can use object entries API. Then we can filter and leave only environment variables that can be used. That starts with RSS, and then we map these keys and values to our predefined format, and then we can just log it into console. And as you can see, we don't need a separated array here. Okay, let's take a look at args. Command line arguments are stored in process argv. But first two arguments are about our process. It's passed to our node binary and passed to our node module. I mean this module with code that we are currently running. So we don't need it. That's why we use slice and starting from third arguments. And in general, it's also fine. We just need to take argument name and the next one, next argument with index of previous one plus 1. What also could be done better here that you can use array prototype map instead of for each for this case. You don't need a separated array, but everything else is fine. Okay. By the way, you could also use reduce here, but take into account that it's very convenient to use this iteration mark here. Using of index can be a bit more complicated, so you could use for loop, or you could use reduce API. It's really up to you. No mistakes here. Okay, let's take a look at the modules. We have our initial file that you shouldn't change CGS to ESM, and you had to create esm.mjs. So first let's take a look at the imports. This is default import. This is named import. This is named import with renaming, and this is just imports in module without imports in something from the module. Okay, this version is correct. This version is correct. This version is correct. This is slightly incorrect because, well, if you don't use some stuff from the module, but you need to import it because you want to run code inside, you can just do stuff like this. And you can see that it looks pretty same to the require equivalent. We just import some module by pass and don't use anything from it. Okay, here you had to implement dynamic imports depending on runtime value. We just roll dices here and check that some random value is bigger than 0.5. You can just do this like with require. You need to use dynamic imports. This has a bit different syntax. You can just use import as a function, but please remember that import is not a function. This is a keyword. You can be asked about this on some technical interviews. And you can also use this await, and this is how we do dynamic imports in ECMAScript modules. And by the way, you can use top-level await at the module, so you can use await just right here without placing it into a asynchronous function. Okay, what else do we have here? This script will show us some information about our operation system. Yes, and what's the next difference? We have predefined constants, file name and dir name, that refers to the path to our module and to directory where it's placed. But we don't have file name and dir name in ECMAScript modules. We have to take it from different place. We can take it from import metadata, and yeah, it's okay. What else do we have here? Yeah, and we have these exports, and exports are also correct. You could also do separate exports, but it's really up to you. Okay, I will take a look at the chat and we will move on. Ask you to check my solution. I throw error everywhere I take, but the message comes message when thrown error is caught. You shouldn't catch errors because your function had to throw errors. Can we use instead import create require from node module? In general, yes, you can use create require, but it's more about, you know, some compatibility stuff when you need to imitate this require behavior because it works differently from ECMAScript imports. Or maybe, I don't know, if you want to import CommonJS module into ECMAScript module and for some reason you need this require. So it's better to use asynchronous imports. But it's also a viable solution. The import with causes a warning for me. Is it okay to use it? Import with. I don't get what you are talking about. Could you please provide some code example and we will discuss it. And by the meantime, we will move on. Okay, what's next? Next is hash. Let's close other modules. Here we have function for cache calculation. So what do we need here? We need to create a readable stream. We need to create hash, and hash is also can be used as is also can be used as a stream API target. So we are basically piping a readable stream into hash, which works as a transformable stream, and also we pipe result into process_std_out. Let's try to run it. npm run hash. Okay, we have hash for the file. If we will try to change it, we should have different hash, because this is how it works. Yeah, we have completely different hash for changed file. Okay. You could see some stuff like checksum on some websites, or you could see checksum in, I don't know, package log.json, and now you understand why this hash is important and why it reflects that file was not damaged or corrupted. Okay, I just proposed to use not prefix here, but everything else is just fine. We could also use pipeline API instead of this repeated piping, but piping is also fine, at least for our example. Let's take a look at the read file. So here we create readable stream to our file to read, and then we pipe this readable stream to process_std_out, which is a writable stream. Let's try to run it. npm run stream read. Sorry. Streams read. My bad. This file should be read using streams API. Okay. Looks just fine. The only one problem is that we don't have error handling here, but it's not required according to task acceptances, so it's just fine. Let's take a look at the write. This writable stream should write some stuff into file. So we have file to write here, and let's try to run our script. Okay. AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD, and let's close it. You can see that file to write reflects what we written into console. How it works? Because, well, we pipe process std_in, which is a standard process readable stream, which takes information from our terminal into writable stream, which writes this stuff to the file. And you can see that piping works here as well. Okay, and the last one, let's take a look at the transform stream usage. Okay, here student created a new transform string using this shorthand from stream module. We have several ways to create transform streams. Many Node.js APIs are transform streams by itself. It uses stream API under the hood. You could see that we calculated hash and we used our hash as transform stream. You can create a class that extends transform class from stream module, or you can use shorthand. You can call it as new transform, and here provide some options. So you need to implement a transform method, which will do your transformation, then call this push, and will push a transformed chunk to the internal buffer, and then call back. It means that operation is done. Okay, here using of callbacks is fine, because this is how we write transform streams. I have some minor suggestions. First of all, if you don't use something, just name it with this symbol, and it means that this is not used, but according to signature you need to have it, because you need to use callback, so you need 3 arguments here. And also, for example, in Express, in Node.js library, okay, middlewares in Express are treated as error handling middlewares or regular middlewares, depending on amount of arguments. So sometimes you just use external API and you have to you can skip these arguments, but if you don't use it, just call it with this symbol, and it will not be highlighted that it's not used. And also one more minor thing, you hadn't you shouldn't do transforming to uppercase and trimming of the chunks. It was not in the task requirements, but it's minor after all. Okay, so here we use pipeline API. It's the same if we do process in pipe, transform stream pipe process out, and it has error handling callback. What is good about using pipeline API is that this error handling callback applies to all our steps. So if error will happen here, error will happen here, or error will happen here, this error callback will be called and catch our error. If we do piping, we need to add error handlings after each pipe, because if you will have error here and you don't have error sorry, okay, imagine we have a big chain of piping, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5, maybe more. You need to have error handler, you need to add error handling after each pipe. So if you have error handling in the end and you have error in the beginning, it will not be caught. So from this point of view, pipeline is better. But maybe you need to, I don't know, you need to have different error handlings, depend on error. Maybe you have some specific logic. So you want to use pipe, but in general, pipeline is better for most of the cases. Okay, let's take a look at the zip folder. What do we have here? We create readable stream, we create writable stream, and then we use gzip stream as a transform stream. We put it in the middle of the pipeline between readable and writable stream and do the same stuff as in transform file. And decompress only differs with transform stream, because previously we wanted to compress and we transformed our chunks one way, and now we wanted to decompress. This is just different operation, but it uses exactly the same interface. Everything looks fine here. Probably I would propose to use premisified version of pipeline. Okay. Stream promises API. Yeah. We could just have this promises here, and we could await pipeline inside of this function, but it's minor. Okay. Let me take a look at the chat. Let's take a look at my question. Streams read. Sorry, I will take a look. I've seen your message, but I don't really have JavaScript interpreter in my head, so I need to take a closer look at this code. And maybe you can just give me a link to your repository, and I will take a look at the issue, because I don't know why it works this way. It shouldn't work like this. Maybe there is some issues with what is taken for the root. Maybe you have some local issues. Okay. Await import. But with. Okay. I'm not sure about imports in JSON module is experimental feature and might change at any time. Okay, you can always take a look at the modules, ECMAScript modules. Okay, so you shouldn't use this stuff like this because it's under active development. It can change at any time. Probably it will become stable later, so you just shouldn't use it in production until it's stable. But then you will be able to do it. Okay. Okay. Let's proceed. What do we have here? We have worker threads. For some reason, it didn't work for me because this path was not recognized. So if I could try to run this script, I always had error and data null because module could not be found. I fixed this by using different import. Not sure about how it worked on student's machine, but for me, I had to provide a correct URL. In general, it works correctly. What do we do here? Here is our main file, and here we spawn some workers and provide them with worker data. So this is the way to pass data into worker. You have this worker data property where you can pass some data for worker thread. And here you can take this data inside of the worker as worker data. So you can see that we have this worker data initially, and then we use parent port to send result back to main thread. And after that, we do promise all settled, and we log result. In general, looks correctly. We already seen that we have status error and data null if error happens, so I don't think we really need it. We can throw some error conditionally, but okay, we already see that it works correctly. You could also see that this can be done inside of single file because we have constants. You can see it in Node.js documentation, worker threads. You can see that you have this is main thread. I recall that there is stuff that means vice versa, something like is worker or is child. I don't remember exactly how it's named, but you can have worker code and main thread code in the same file. Okay, you just do if is main thread, it means that here we are inside main thread, else we are inside worker. So I just split those files to make it more understandable for you, but it could be inside of the same file. Okay, let's take a look at the final module, child process. Here you had to spawn child process, and send data to this process and receive some response. We have several ways to spawn child process. We have spawn API, we have fork API, we have exec API, we have exec file API. In general, fork is fine here because fork is used to specifically for creation of Node.js processes. So it's correct. So we created a child process from JavaScript file. We then piped our process std into child process std in, and our child process std out has been piped to our process std out. That's how we establish connection between them. And also we have error handling here. It does nothing, it just throws error, but anyway, we have it. Okay. What's going on inside of our script folder? We log total number of arguments, and then we send back our message to main process. And if our message includes close string, then we terminate our Node.js process. npm run CP. You can see that, okay, we can see our args here that we provided from main process. If we will add one more argument, we will see it here as well. Okay, it works. And then we should just send results back. And if we will type close, our process is terminated. Okay, works fine, looks fine. I have no concerns here. Okay, that's it about this assignment. Do you have some questions? Change with type JSON to assert type JSON, which is correct Oh, okay. I think your Fibonacci numbers is in incorrect order. Let's see. Do we have some requirements about this? Okay, maybe you are right. Maybe it should be in the same order as we passed it, but we have no explicit requirement about it, so probably, yeah, probably you can't deduct a score for this. But yeah, maybe it happens because we just do promise all settled and we don't preserve order. So let's push worker. Let me run it one more time. Yeah, it's random. Okay. You are correct. It's better to have this results at the same in the same order as we passed initial arguments, but just please don't deduct score for this. Okay. Showcase. Review reduce score with text unhandled error when running worker.js. Can we use condition for is main thread? Can use. He thinks we must add is main thread condition for this task. I think. Nope, you don't need to add it. You don't need to add it. It's completely okay. To use something experimental, and the question wasn't mine. I only had a showcase in CPJS task. We simplify our solution to this code fork. Join get module their name. Child and close process as well. If it will work according to the requirements, why not? Result in the array. Yes, yes. Let me check. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I forgot that I specifically mentioned it. Yes. Yeah, in this case, this implementation is not correct. So you can deduct some score for this. Okay. Good. Thank you for pointing me. Do you have some other questions? By the way, if you need to have dynamic file content, you can just read JSON as a file using FS API and then transform it to JavaScript object. It's also okay. I mean, we have a dedicated API. If this is not stable yet, then you can use it in your, I don't know, pet project for some playgrounds, but don't use it in production. And by the way, I just wanted to mention that you need to check other students' works carefully, and you need to set score according to scoring. So you can't deduct points for stuff that not mentioned in assignment. You can't add extra points for stuff that not mentioned in assignment, and so on. We also have penalties for incorrect cross-check, so please be attentive and do it the good way. Is it possible to use spawn node? Yes, spawn API is more complex API than fork. Some people know by default the instead of apparent share process are connected without any states with using .fork. Also, IPC is settled to yes. Okay. But I do know. You just had to establish connection. This is up to you how you do this. Is there something wrong, but it's not specified how much to deduct? We just deduct based on how we feel would be fair. Guys, you have a cross-check guide somewhere in documentation. So you can just set score according to criteria, and you can for each point you can give full score. You can give half of the score if implementation is partially correct, or you can give 0 if it's not implemented. For example, we have this +6 points for create.js function. Okay, let's take a look at it. Let's imagine that you open file and you see nothing here. Or, I don't know, error always thrown, it doesn't work at all, then it's 0. If your operation partially work but doesn't cover some edge cases and has errors, you can give half of the points, 3 points. If it's implemented and works without errors, then you give full score. And this is for all the points here. No other way to do scoring. Did we miss this question? If usage of... Yes, it's prohibited. I explicitly mentioned that we have no other dependencies. So you can use, I don't know, IDE extension, globally installed dependencies, but your package.json file should not contain any external dependencies. Okay, so that's it. We took a look at this task. In general, it works fine, but just overuses callbacks API. Let's take a look at your next assignment. You need to implement console application. You need to implement your own, let's say, file manager. So what it do? What it does? You can start it using npm run start and provide it with your username. This username is used for greeting message. We need to see welcome to file manager, and here will be your username. And after you quit your file manager, then you will see message, thank you for using file manager, your username, and goodbye. What else? At the start of the program and at the end of each input, after execution some operation, we print current working directory where we currently are in the following way. You are currently in and some path. And also starting working directory is current users, I mean system user home directory. On Windows it's some drive name, users, and username of system users. On macOS it's just root folder. By default your program should prompt user in console and print commands and wait for results. If user tries to do some unknown operation, you just print invalid input message, and application is not crashed. It waits for another command. If some error happens during execution of operation, you just print operation failed message, and then user is able to print another command, so application is not crashed once again. And of course, user can go upper than root directory. Okay, we have some commands. We have navigation commands. We can go up, upper to current directory. We can use cd or change directory. We can use ls or list. It prints in console a list of all files and folder in current directory in the following format. Also, you should be able to read file and print its content into console. You should be able to create new file with provided file name. You should be able to rename file, copy file, move file. It's like copy, but initial version is deleted. Delete file. You can get some operation system information, default end of the line, home directory, username, CPU architecture. You should implement hash calculation. You just use hash command and provide path to file, and compress and decompress operations. Okay, so you have points for these basic operations for correct work, and advanced scope if all operations that are marked to be implemented using certain streams are implemented using streams API. What do I mean? You have some marks like should be done using readable stream, should be done using readable and writable stream. So if you will do it for all the tasks, you will have extra points. Also, you don't call synchronous Node.js API if asynchronous analogs exist. So, for example, use read file and don't use read file sync. Yeah, you should already know that it blocks event loop, so don't use synchronous operation. Also, if you will write code base in ECMAScript modules and not in CommonJS modules, you will have extra points, and you will have extra points for separation of code base. Yeah. We should have multiple modules, at least 7. You have multiple domains here, you have different groups of commands, you have different commands, you can have some other stuff for your application, like how it works together. So I assume at least 7 modules you can implement a lot more. And just as always, you will lose almost all of your score for any external tools and libraries usage, and for commits after deadline. I assume I had demo for you. Okay, so let's start. npm run start. Username is equal to Maxim. Oh, welcome to file manager undefined. Sorry, maybe I provided an incorrect format. Interesting. Okay, guys, for some reason my demo doesn't work. Okay. NPM. My bad. Okay, guys, by the way, here's a free lesson for you. If you want to provide some additional arguments to npm script, you should use dash dash and then provide your additional arguments. Some username. Now it works correctly. Okay, you can see that I'm currently in my working in my home directory. Okay, we can see that it's our home directory os home dir. It's users Maxim Shilov. We can also try to take a look at some I don't know, architecture. It's IRM64. Okay, we can try to list current files. We can try to go upper. We can try to go upper. We can go upper, and so on. And then if I decide to leave my file manager, then I see message, thank you for using file manager, my username, and goodbye. That's how it works. In general, it's pretty similar to what you did in previous task, but now you pull all things together and it works as complex single application. Maybe you have some questions to file manager. Hi, there is a problem that if run the command start username, argument doesn't get into array, but if you run username, run the name, then it goes to array normally, then this happens PowerShell, blah, blah, blah. This reviewer uses PowerShell, he will count the point as not completed. Your implementation should not depend on terminal. There is issue about CLI arguments with new Node version. It's not working as in assignments. PM run, PM start. Okay, but it works for me. Thank you for your check. You are welcome. In general, it's good work. You just used old version of APIs. This looks like a fun project to do. Yes. Should we create new repository? Yes, you should create your new repository. If path starts with disk like C, user's username, is correct implementation in welcome section? Yes, why not? Okay. A lot of people are new in our school and doesn't know about messages from review student in REST app. Can you show directly in the REST app interface that's necessary to review responses? I will not be able to show it because I'm not a student and I don't have this. I can show it to you, unfortunately. But yeah, you can just use cross-check submit page and check for students' work. Yeah, guys, just a reminder, it's important to review other students' solution in time because you will not get points if you will not do it. Should file manager be able to change drive? Yes, it should. This is the same path and it's a valid path how it works. Okay, guys, you know this is The idea of this file manager was taken from just bash interface. Okay, so you can see that I have this ls command, I can go upper and so on with some extensions. Okay, so using cd command in terminal, you can switch to another system drive. So your file manager should be able to do it as well. And take into account that you will use Node.js API under the hood, it will be not a problem for you. It works with changing system drives correctly. Okay, I think this is it. You can ask your questions in dedicated task channels. I will create a channel for a second task. And I remind you that you have 1 more week for test how to learn in REST School. Don't forget to submit it in time as well. Okay, so this is it. And have a nice evening or good time if you are in different time zone. Bye bye.